Hey y'all, it's Megan and Andy. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. In today's video, we're gonna show y'all a full-blown how we grow about 80% of our own food here, on our farm. Of course, our farm is split up into a few different sections, but not only do we grow our own food for us, we also grow a lot of our animal feed, and y'all just come enjoy spending the day with us. The garden is at its prime, and we didn't want y'all to miss it.
That's right. All right, so this part right here probably looks familiar to a whole lot of y'all because this is where we've been pulling the sweet corn from. Now there is a few ears out here left, but we'll just be eating on those, throughout the next few days. We've pretty much done harvested what's going to get harvested out of here though, and canned and froze and everything like that. This was Honey Select sweet corn, which is by far one of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
As y'all may remember, we had a lot of our cold crops over here. These were cabbage, but I've done put the cabbage and broccoli, I've done put those raised beds to bed for the season. These two beds were potatoes. We've already dug those, and then we have a bed of Yukon Golds out there that we haven't dug yet.
This was a volunteer squash or zucchini. Well, I think it was a little bit of everything that we've just kind of let do its thing, and it's actually kind of taken over. And this is a volunteer sweet potato that we left too. But we're letting that do its thing. We've been harvesting a little bit off of it. These are actually carrot seeds, that we're letting go to seed because that whole row was carrots. And we also have comfrey here in this spot.
And some turmeric that come back here, which is pretty impressive considering the really cold winter we had, that it survived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't know, so I left like a piece in the ground just to see. And we also have 3 new grapevines around here.
We got this one here, which is one that's been up here at this place for years. It was a grapevine of my grandpa's. These are 2 we got from Tractor Supply this spring, and they both have taken off too. As we move on.
And we also have a volunteer, which is starting to look like a zucchini.
Oh yeah, and it's
here.
actually got something on it. Look at that.
What we're showing you at this very moment is actually right beside of our house. So
yep. House is
that's
right there.
One big suggestion I have for anybody wanting to garden. Don't put it somewhere you can't see it every day.
That's right.
And, we've been growing our own food for a long, long time, and we just slowly increase over the years.
So most of y'all will probably remember that this whole section is new this year. We just fenced in everything. All of this was just added this spring.
And look over the weedy mess on this section, because all of this here in this part is pretty much done. Like Andy said about the sweet corn, these are what we call October beans, and you saw us go through, they're done. Then this monstrosity all the way down this fence line. This is our goal for over there. This is what we want over there to look like. This is 2 grapevines that just love it. They love it here, and there's a fence under there that's their trellis. And, we just try to utilize, every bit of space that we can. So instead of it just being a fence there, it's a grapevine trellis as well.
And it is very happy there too.
Oh yeah, and it's full of grapes. Look under there. Look in there at all the grapes.
Oh man.
I mean, it's a pile of them, and it's like that all the way down through there. So
definitely gonna have some grapes this year.
It makes me happy. So the kids are actually not here right now. They're with the grandparents. They wanted to go hang out with them for a while. But this is Maggie's flower garden. We haven't showed it up close in a while. But we've had several viewers send her flower seeds and things that she's planted. Oh, I haven't seen this. Look at this. This is something new too.
What?
That she's got growing. Yeah. I think this is something somebody sent her. That. Mm-hmm. But she's got some beautiful sunflower plants. These were volunteers that came, and she planted them here. She dug them up and planted them.
Look at the honeybees on that.
Oh yeah, the bees just eat them up. And these are gonna be some pretty sunflowers, I think. Look at how nice those plants look.
Those are some beautiful plants.
But she's got zinnias growing. I'm not a flower person, so I'm not very good at all this, but I know these are zinnias, marigolds, poppies. I don't know the name of a lot of them.
I know there's some petunias and there's some impatiens in there as well.
But we decided this used to be one of the junkiest spots, because if you live this lifestyle for any amount of time, or you live in the country, period, you're going to accumulate a junk pile somewhere. Well, at one time, it used to be a giant pine tree here, and this was kind of like where the garden junk accumulated, and it was about the ugliest spot here, I'd say.
Yeah, and it was right out our back door.
Yeah. We cleaned all that up, and Maggie wanted her own flower garden, and it's what you see now, and it's here next to the garden, so the pollinators, we hope it attracts the bees to go to the garden.
So next up, this is our original garden here. This is the garden that's been up here for years and years and years. Matter of fact, for those of y'all that don't know, this is my grandpa's old place. And I had a garden here of my own way before me and Megan were even together. So that's been a very long time ago.
Yeah, because we've been together for
a long time.
Be going on, let's see, 15 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 years. So maybe it's longer than that.
No, it ain't 15 years. I can't count. It's 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
So there's probably been a garden here then, if that's the case, for at least 25. And I've been, you know, for those of y'all that don't know, I've been a landscaper and a lawn care guy. I've always brought in my leaves from job sites, grass clippings, you name it. In the fall, I would dump all that stuff in here, kind of let it compost down over the winter, and once spring come, till and work all that stuff into the soil. And I've been doing that for for that long, and this is the result from it.
We don't even hardly use fertilizer in this garden.
Not in this section.
It don't need it.
This corn right here has hardly had any fertilizer at all by it this year, and I'm pretty sure that the rest, the tomatoes, we put some organic fertilizer by. We've thrown a little bit of organic fertilizer by the green beans.
I'm glad you said organic. Again, if you hadn't seen other videos where we've talked about this, we're not organic gardeners. We try to do, our first step to anything, we try to do organically with pest control, with fertilization. But, our main goal here is to grow food, period.
If I grow it here at my house and I do end up having to use some type of pesticide or chemical or something on my crop, at least I know what was sprayed on it. And I don't want to use pesticides and chemicals and stuff if I don't have to. I would rather have something and have to spray it or treat it or something and know what's been put on it than to go out and buy something from the grocery store and have absolutely no idea what's been sprayed on that stuff. So, that's just my 2 cents on it. Everybody's got their own take on gardening. If you want to go completely organic, that's great. If you don't care nothing about being organic and you just want to grow food,
that's great
do what
too.
you got to do. I mean,
that's right.
I'm not going to knock anybody for the way they choose to garden, but this is how we choose to garden. Our main goal is to have something to eat.
That's right.
We had quite a struggle with cucumbers coming up this year. We replanted these things 3 times, and we ended up having to start some in our greenhouse and direct plant seed starts. And I think the only thing I can attribute that to is we had a really cool and wet spring, and I think that the ground temperature just never did get warm enough for those seeds to come up like they should.
I came out here and picked these yesterday, and I feel like I think I missed something. I'm standing here looking at them, and I'm like,
I think you did too. I see a few. But unfortunately, I believe our cucumber season's going to be short-lived because we've already got some disease coming on them.
Well, it's been damp and it's been hot. But, I'll make a few runs of some pickles, and it'll be all right.
But these aren't the only cucumbers we got either.
Right. But we do grow them up a cattle panel, up a trellis. This is another volunteer squash that I've been picking a squash off here and there. This is a strawberry bed that goes plumb on down through there. And you're going to look at it and say, but it's getting swallowed up by the grapevine. Well, luckily, when the strawberries are coming in, this grapevine has kind of still died back and hadn't got all crazy yet.
And believe it or not, I've actually been keeping this trimmed off.
Yeah, because it's trying to reach over here But we've got some echinacea growing all in here. We like to just incorporate things, you know, because of course these attract the bees. And all this still cucumbers, and these, I can't even remember what they're called.
Which ones?
Them. This is a volunteer sunflower. We just let the flowers kind of grow if they want to grow. Some of these other plants the same way.
And just like everything else, we got a peach tree that come up over here all on its own. And I decided, I almost pulled it out because it's not really the greatest place to have a fruit tree growing. But I was like, you know what? That tree right there is only like 2 years old, and look at it.
And it's already, I mean, it ain't gonna shade this part right here no more than it's already shaded from those trees.
And that's true. And I was like, if it wants to be there that bad, we're gonna let the thing live there because it is an extremely healthy looking tree. And I don't even know where the seed would have come from.
Yeah,
but it comes from somewhere.
We don't know why it's in here. So this is our second run of sweet corn that we have not started picking yet. It just has tasseled. So we're letting it, you know, do its thing.
It's not going to be long.
No, it won't be too long.
This variety here was a burpee hybrid bicolor corn. I don't know. The seeds came from Tractor Supply, but we didn't buy them. They were gifted to us by a good friend who had a excess of Tractor Supply seeds. Behind me here, this big beautiful wall of beans is some seeds that a couple out of West Virginia sent us. And they are absolutely gorgeous.
Even if they don't make beans, because they're not liking the hot too good, I don't think.
We've got some small bean pods up there.
But the bees have loved them. See, the bees are all over them. The bees have loved them. And they're just plumb pretty.
They're beautiful. Lots of people have said in the comments that they think these are scarlet runner beans, and they may be, they may not be. Honestly, we don't know. But I can tell you one thing, they're beautiful. And I think that these would be an excellent bean to plant next to like as a sunscreen or something against your porch because, I mean, you don't get no prettier than that. Those flowers are just beautiful.
Here along this netting is our black-eyed peas, and we usually, like every other year, we'll plant also purple hull peas, but I canned so many purple hull peas last year, like we didn't even plant none. But black-eyed peas, we've got them all down through here. We really enjoy the black-eyed peas. We've got volunteer potatoes coming up everywhere. And then on these trellises down here, which we're getting some bug pressure on them. So these teepees all the way down through here, these are Kentucky Blue Wonder pole beans, or green beans. And we haven't got a harvest off of them yet, but they're starting to bloom and set some beans on there. And again, with the green beans, I'm not looking for a gigantic crop to can tons of green beans, which I may still get it. I don't know. We'll just see how they do. I just really want them just to eat on fresh because I have enough canned green beans again from last year. We had a bumper crop of green beans. So if I don't get enough to can, I ain't worried about it.
You want to tell them why we've got pole green beans instead of bush green beans?
Well, one year we decided that we were going to grow produce and sell it. That's just me and Andy. And, you know, I was working, Andy was working over full time. And the kids were little. Well, we planted this big, huge row of jade bush beans. And there was one day I picked 5 or 6 bushels of them bush beans. If you've ever picked bush beans, you know what I mean. I picked them things every which way but standing on my head trying to pick them beans. And I told Andy that evening after I picked them 5 or 6 bushels, I said, I don't ever want to see another bush bean. And so now we plant pole beans.
That's right.
And look here, have you seen this?
I did.
They're all over them. Won't be long, we'll be getting some
It won't be long at all.
black-eyed peas. All right, on to the tomato jungle. So look over some of the tomato plants. We've had issues with the tomatoes this year, and I'm kindly disappointed in my tomatoes, but again, you win some and you lose some, and it just is what it is.
Wow, the blight has got bad out here, ain't it?
Yeah, I told you.
I don't know, it could partly be us too, because we've got the Florida weave going on here and we didn't do any pruning. We have done it exactly like this for years, but the last 2 years have had some type of extreme weather. And doing it this way, you don't get very much circulation of air between your plants, especially when you don't prune them. And I figure that's probably why we've had what we've got going on here. However, we're still going to have plenty of tomatoes to do what we need to do. It's just they're probably not going to last very long.
No, they're some of these are about done. But I do want to show you.
What?
These right here are my eaten tomatoes. I think it's these. We get these seeds from Hoss every year, red snapper tomatoes, and let me just tell you, between them and pink brandywines, they're probably some of my favorites, because you get you a big tomato, and you slice it, and it takes up your whole piece of bread. That's the way I like my sandwich tomatoes. And also, one of my favorite tomatoes is Mountain Pride's. They never let me down.
No, Mountain Pride is a really good, hardy, reliable tomato.
For our climate.
Yeah,
now,
us.
I do know, like, we talked to Greg down at Hoss Tools about that, too, and he said they don't really do that great down there. But here, they love it. Here's more squash and zucchini jungle. I bet I got a zucchini in there to pick.
You can see they're going backwards. That's okay. We're fine with that. We've had so much squash and zucchini, y'all, that I'm done with them anyways.
Yeah, we'll pull these up, but we'll feed these big squash to the pigs.
Well, we'll leave a couple of them to get some seeds off of, but I'm sure they're all cross-pollinated and everything else. But
well, they already were.
That's what we had to begin with, and they done great.
Yeah, they already were.
One thing that I'm extremely proud of this year is this watermelon crop. Those are some of the prettiest watermelon vines we've ever had, but I just noticed something. We got morning glory coming up out here, which I'm not a big fan of that. But this pigweed.
And I've been keeping it pulled, I feel like, and then it sneaks back up through it.
I know. Pigweed drives me insane. See one?
I got two here. Zucchini bread in my future.
All right. There's a better look at the watermelons, and there's watermelons hiding in there. I really don't want to walk out in my vines, though, because I don't want to be crushing the vines. Right there's one hiding under the okra. So as we're walking... through here, we've got red, I believe it was red burgundy okra. I think we've got a few we need to pick as well. Then down here we've got crimson spineless okra. There's another watermelon hiding in there. And so back here, along the back wall, we have a volunteer tomato plant. We have no idea what it is, but it looks like it's going to have some nice tomatoes on it. And under that is some sage. We got another thing of sage buried in there. We've got basil.
Oregano, and then there's thyme.
All the time, yeah. Forgot about that. Look at that nice tomato there.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It likes it here, though.
Yeah, it does.
And basil, and parsley.
And bee balm.
Look at the pretty blooms on it.
I see that. They are pretty. And then our walking onions, which we kind of need to do something with those.
Well, I was just letting them
do
their
with
thing.
walking onions, this is supposed to fall to the ground and make more onions.
Or you can break it off, I think, and let it...
I did break some of them off and planted them right here. And I guess it's just been too hot for them to really do a whole lot. But they are growing, though. So walking onions are kind of like a never-ending supply of onions.
Yeah.
You never have to buy bulbs again once you plant them. We had a pile of volunteer peppers come up this year. And we had no clue what they were. Well, I think I figured it out that they're Mad Hatters.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. All this right here is all Mad Hatter peppers. And I will show you why I think that. Right there they are. They finally started putting on peppers, and there they are. Look just like a Mad Hatter, so.
And if you don't know, a Mad Hatter is a sweet pepper, and they are extremely prolific.
Oh yeah, one plant is all you need, and we have 8 or 10 of them.
Yeah.
So now I think we'll make a round around our house because we have a few things planted in the yard. Then we'll walk over to the raised beds. We have a fig tree, a monster fig tree, an elderberry, which this one's meant to be more of an ornamental elderberry, and it's kind of got swallowed up by the fig tree. And then we have lemon balm that has taken over everything.
Don't ever plant lemon balm.
Yeah, that was the biggest mistake we ever made. There used to be a big strawberry bed here, but the lemon balm decided that that wasn't going to happen anymore.
No, I actually got a lot of strawberries out of here.
Well, I don't think you will next year.
But yeah, the fig tree is plumb full of, I mean, it's got a pile of figs on it.
Let's look up in here. Oh yeah. Figs are everywhere. Look in there. Don't have any close to being ripe yet. And right over here, right in front of the fig tree, we have a peach tree that we planted. This one's supposed to be a later blooming peach tree, a late season peach tree. We done that because we have a problem with frost usually killing our peach blooms in the spring. You know, we'll get one of those random late frosts and it'll wipe the tree out. This one's only 2 years old. We planted it last year. And look at it. It's massive.
And if you wonder about, you know, the deer situation, you know, we've got that big fence around our garden right over there. See my flowers? I can't have nothing up here in the front especially.
Well, they've even eat on this tree.
Yeah.
The lower limbs of this tree they've eat on.
Yep.
And the other thing we forgot, under that fig tree up there, there is a rosemary that's got somewhat swallowed by that big fig tree.
The fig tree has grown like crazy this year.
I think this winter or next spring, I have to do some research on it, but I believe I'm going to prune that thing back this time because it's gotten way too big for the location it's in. So as we come around behind our house here, I wish Jacob was here to show y'all this garden, but we'll do our best to represent what he's got going on. So this is our winter chicken coop. Completely fenced in, so no issue with predators at all. He's got Better Boy tomatoes here. Let's see, does he have a tomato right now? No, but he sure does have some pretty tomatoes down there.
Yeah, his tomatoes look way better than ours.
It's a jungle in here. These are Kentucky Wonder pole beans. He saved the seeds from these last year and replanted them this year. Now, we have not got a harvest off of these yet, but we do have beans finally coming on them. So he has turquoise blue Hopi corn, and it's in the stage right now where it's making corn. It's an extremely short corn. Like, the top of that tassel is just as tall as me, and I'm only like 6 foot. In the middle here, he's got sweet corn. I forget, what was it? Bodacious. Bodacious, is that what it is?
I think that's what y'all said.
This is some that a viewer sent him, and it's doing good too. We planted this like 2 weeks later than this, hoping they wouldn't tassel at the same time, but we have tassels coming out here. And this right here has already done its thing, so I'm hoping they don't cross with each other. And then amongst here, he's got cucumber plants, which might have not been the greatest idea. He is getting cucumbers off of these things, but they've really gotten shaded out by the corn. Our intentions were they were going to grow up the fence, but they've struggled with that. We keep trying to move them up the fence, and they ain't really done what we thought they were going to do. Now this one has. Look at this one. This one looks great. But it got up here to where it could get some sun.
It did what it was supposed to do.
It did what it was supposed to do. The original plan. We have another tomato down here that came up voluntarily. Then he's got some watermelon vines.
Somewhere.
The ones over there look the best. They get the most sun. Yeah, there's his watermelons. So Jacob has him a jungle out here, and it's beautiful. And most of this has had no fertilizer on it. It's been his little concoction he made up. Plus the chicken manure and everything else that was in here.
Yep, and the plan is, you know, once that time of year comes, the chickens are just going to go right back in there and they can clean it up.
That's right. Perfect plan, I think.
Those beans, though, I mean, it's beautiful. Like, this is such a small space that he has so much growing in. And I know it's tight, but just think about how much food he has in that little tiny space right there.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of in my opinion, it encourages people, or I think it would encourage people, even if you have a tiny, tiny spot, a tiny city lot or anything like that, you can grow a big chunk of food on a little piece of land.
These are sweet potato slips that just keep coming, keep on putting on. We grow our own sweet potato slips, so that's what this is, and they're just here.
This is a blackberry jungle. The blackberry here was actually an accident. There was a sprout from a plant that had taken root, and when I pulled it out, you know, part of that root was in the ground. Well, then the blackberry ended up coming up off of that root, and it seemed like it was so happy there, we just left it alone, and now it's got green beans growing up in it. There's dill that's come up here all in it. I mean, it's sort of a mess right now, but believe it or not, the blackberries have seemed to liked it, having those green beans covering them up, because the blackberries underneath have performed really well, and it's almost like the beans are shading them from the hot scalding sun. And we've picked some really nice blackberries out from under those green beans.
And now here's our pepper beds. So we've got shishito peppers here that I need to start doing something with. I've been cooking with them a lot, but these things are like, keep putting off. This is is this a bell pepper?
Yeah, that's a green bell, I think.
That's what I thought. I don't know if it's got no peppers on it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen one on it yet.
And this is a black beauty bell pepper, and that's what I put in my salsa.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. And poblanos. Poblanos, are these not the most, I love poblano peppers anyway though. Are these not the prettiest pepper you've ever seen? I think. Banana peppers, jalapenos. On the back side, right there, is more cucumbers growing up that trellis, and we'll show you more of those in a second.
Then this is the sweet corn we planted in the raised bed. This was a Silver Queen. You notice I've got this wire laying over it. I'm not sure if it was our cats or what, but I had something crawling up in the bed trying to eat the sweet corn. Like, it looked like something was chewing on it. So I put that up there, and I ain't really had a problem since. I think it's probably tall enough now that I can take all that off.
And we got bird tape up, so I'm pretty sure it wasn't like a bird or nothing. But this right here is just the bed that was full of clover. You can see that in previous videos that we had onions, and then it got taken over by clover. So we're just killing out the clover so all that can go back into the dirt. And then this is...
I believe that's another black beauty.
Yep, the black beauty. They're really liking it here. They're doing really good to be bell peppers. Then we've got more cucumbers just randomly planted.
These were also extras, and I was like, where are we going to put these at?
Yeah, and you can tell, so they're in the mulch bed of this apple tree. And that's something we try to use too, is we make just these random little mulch beds because the fruit trees like to be mulched. Well, we just take advantage of the mulch.
And this one is an apple. What is this, a yellow delicious apple?
I think that's what it says, yeah.
Yeah. This is like one of the only apple trees we know what variety it is.
Yeah, and we just planted that one last year.
Yeah.
So here's another one of those mulch beds that's here with this little pear tree.
Look, you got a red tomato over there.
Do I? Oh,
right there.
That's one of those...
fantastic.
Yeah, I want to call them fabulous, but I know that's not right. That's a pretty perfect tomato. Look at that. It's just perfect.
It is, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
You may end up liking those.
I might.
Got some more echinacea. Echinacea.
And another volunteer sunflower.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty.
Dill. And all this dill comes up by itself.
Yeah, because of this. You see all those seeds?
Yep. We just let it go, do its thing.
Let them do their thing.
Yep.
Got another cucumber here. And another one here. More comfrey growing. This is a pear tree. It's only been in the ground, I think, 2 years, 3 years maybe.
Something like that. Cherry tomato that came back by itself.
Yeah, that's a cherry. That was a volunteer. This is where the garlic was, and we're just kind of letting that bed hang out till fall crops.
And this is a peach tree.
This was a volunteer peach tree.
Oh, that's right.
And I transplanted this one. This one came up in the chicken coop. I transplanted it to here. Then the mess underneath of it here is mint. And that's another thing that...
plant it in a pot.
Had I known what I know now, I'd have never planted this mint here, because it's even trying to take over the raised bed. See it growing out the cracks, and I'm constantly, right there some now, constantly pulling it out.
Pulled a bunch out yesterday. Now here's a green bell pepper that's doing really good.
Oh man, look at those.
These are beautiful. And the plant is beautiful.
Yeah, these are probably the best pepper plants we've ever had.
The peppers have really enjoyed the weather we've been having.
And this one,
which is so crazy. Like,
what is that?
That looks like another poblano.
Yeah, I believe that is a poblano.
Sunk in the middle. Look.
Yeah, that is a poblano.
Yep.
Then these are the cucumbers that we put on. We originally had our green peas planted here, and once we pulled those out, we replaced them with cucumbers. And they seem to be doing pretty good too. However, they've already got the disease on them. And that's just one of those things that happens to cucumbers when it gets hot.
Par for the course. But there's more. Here's another archway, more cucumbers. And again, this is a very small area that we're showing you here.
Last 2 years, we've planted Kentucky Wonder pole beans on these arches here. We didn't plant none this year. These came up from seed from last year. And we just kind of let them take over, and we've already gotten, what, 2 or 3 meals off of these so far?
Yeah.
So on the very last raised bed over here, we've got more peppers. Yes, apparently it looks like somebody likes peppers around here. We've got habaneros, which are my personal favorite pepper. I absolutely love habanero peppers. We've got 1 plant of cayenne peppers in here. And then this is another Mad Hatter that was actually supposed to be here. We didn't, at that time when we started that one from seed, we didn't realize we were going to have a whole pile of volunteer ones come up.
Yeah. And this is the backside of Jacob's garden, so you can see how it's made that nice, pretty wall.
And this gives you a better look at his watermelons too, because they've decided to come outside of the chicken lot and grow.
I said we don't want to be in there.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare growing up that vine, up that trellis, and then making watermelons. I'll be interested to see if they can hold it up. So next we'll take a quick stroll through the orchard. Not a lot to see here. Then we'll walk out to Berry Hill and show you that. There's the peach tree that's been the best producing peach tree we've ever had the last 2 years.
And they're delicious and they're big. But we don't know what kind it is.
They're pretty much done now. But I think there's still a few on there, but I think all the ones that are left, the bugs have got in really bad. Then here's another peach tree that the peaches are still really small on. This peach tree usually comes in really late anyways. So it's probably, I'm gonna say we got another month before anything's ready on that. Pear tree, which doesn't have many pears on it this year, but it's got a few. Last year it was absolutely loaded, so I guess it decided this year it was gonna take time off.
And then this beautiful apple tree, this is about the best looking one we've got.
Yes, this one is. All of our apple trees are roughly about 3 to 4 years old, but we've lost several and replaced a few, so we might have a handful that are only like 2 years old. Then we ended up replacing one of our apple trees with this plum tree right here, and it's growing like a weed. That thing was planted last spring, and look at it.
And we got several plums off of it this year,
and
they were delicious.
In amongst our orchard here, though, where we've lost apple trees, we've planted back blueberries, and that one was just planted this year. Got one over there that was planted a couple years ago. This one was just planted last year, but there's a volunteer peach tree. Apparently we like to grow volunteer peach trees, but there's a volunteer peach tree that come up in amongst it, and it's growing so well, I think I'm just going to leave it there.
We don't even know why it's there, though, because the peach trees is
I guess there. Somehow one got thrown down here or something, but I'm just going to leave it be. I'm going to leave the blueberry there. I'm going to let them grow together, and whichever one wins the war is the one that's going to stay there, I guess. And there's apple trees all through here. We had a terrible, terrible problem with fire blight. And that's what's been killing our trees out. Oh, look at these apples.
They're pretty, ain't they?
They are. Finally found a treatment for fire blight, which we'll probably talk about in a later video. But so far it seems to be working. But I was sort of skeptical of it, so we'll see how it goes. And as long as it works, then I'll eventually tell y'all what worked.
And now, I think this is everybody's favorite place.
Berry Hill.
Yep, what we call Berry Hill. This is a really steep spot, and actually I had a memory pop up on Facebook the other day, Andy, of I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. We had the pigs out on this.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
But this is something we made a few years ago, and we're gonna show you. That's literally what the name says. This is like
Berry Hill.
Yeah, the fruit, the berries. All right, we got, how many blueberry plants did we say we had? We counted them.
About 20. 20 something, I forget.
But we've got lots of blueberry plants that thrive. For the most part, the blueberry plants are thriving out here. We've got lots of strawberries.
Now, we will come in and thin these probably in the fall or early spring. Separate some of the plants out, maybe transplant them around. I'm talking about the strawberries.
Yeah, because they're thick as hair on the dog's back.
Yep.
The pigs live in this area and all out through the woods there. And that's our fertilizer for this. And it worked pretty good.
It does. They make a good combination with each other.
Because this, I know you can't tell from the video, but this is a pretty steep
Oh, you kind of can right here.
hill. And it all just runs straight down this hill.
And check this out. I planted a couple of random blackberries over here. And look at that. Look at this right here.
So more strawberry plants here. This strawberry section here did the absolute best this season for the strawberries.
It'll definitely have to be thinned though this time.
And then we have muscadine vines all the way down through here, scuppernongs.
Look at that.
The golden muscadines. And they're some of my favorites, patiently waiting. Then up through here, this is when we get to the jungle.
Yeah.
So
So
snake bit up in here.
we have a blueberry here, more strawberries in amongst here, but they didn't really produce anything because I think it's just too thick. They need some work, but they do work as a good ground cover for the most part, other than just Bermuda grass. They've kept the weeds out.
Mm-hmm. Which is originally we planted them that thick for partly that reason.
Mm-hmm. So the blackberries, well, there is some raspberries right out there, but the
Yeah, there's a lot of
blackberries you see
raspberries.
behind us here, this one was the biggest disappointment I think of our whole.
The whole season this
so
year.
far.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to have one massive blackberry crop because they bloomed beautiful. They had little berries on them coming on. They were looking great. But I did not prune them this year. I didn't do any maintenance work to them because we simply run out of time. And I said, well, they'll be okay. I don't know if that's what the problem was or not, or if it was the fact that we had so much rain this spring and summer. But they didn't hardly make any blackberries at all, and I'm going to show you why.
Not fitting to eat.
The ones they did make, before they ever even hardly ripened, they just dried up.
And then the ones that actually didn't dry up look like this.
Yep, they just didn't perform well at all. So,
And it has for years. I mean, we've had this here for years, but usually we do prune it.
yeah,
And
last year was
that
the
has-
first year I didn't prune it.
we think it has something to do with it.
I'm sure it probably did. But this coming up late winter, spring, you can guarantee I will make time to get out here and
they're
prune
your
this.
favorite.
They are.
Well, while we're standing out here, before we go any further, we'll give them one more quick look around because I think it's a good overview of up here at the house. So
Well, I'll start right here. We've got behind the barn up there. That's the main garden where we started the tour at. We walked around in front of the house, come down the driveway, raised beds, and Jacob's garden up there. Then you've got the orchard, and then we're out here on Berry Hill.
and down that road right there is the creek garden where we'll show you soon.
That's where we'll be heading next. As we head down to the creek garden, I do want to mention that I know to a lot of people it probably looks like we're probably growing an excess amount of food. And to some extent we kind of are. Like there's a lot of different crops that we've got excess of. We're able to share with people. And you know, I like having an abundance. I would rather have an abundance than not enough. And so, but what really though, I don't think a lot of people understand
How much food people eat.
Yeah,
like
we've
in
got
a year's time.
we've got a family of 4, and we pretty much live off of our gardens and the meat we raise.
Ain't no meat right there right now, honey.
I know. Well, they're over there on the other side of the pasture. But if you don't know, we raise meat chickens, we raise egg chickens, we raise cows for beef, and we have a milk cow.
And then pigs for pork.
And pigs for pork, that's right. But you know, when you're feeding a family of 4, at least 2 meals a day out of your house, it adds up.
Over there lays the beef. The beef and the milk cow. See them under that tree? Yeah, I mean, it's nothing for me to can hundreds of jars of stuff.
In a season.
In a season, yeah.
And now
and
not
all, I mean, we've really narrowed it down, because some people may watch this video and say, well, why ain't you growing this? Why ain't you growing that? You really narrow it down after you do it for so long, and stuff that you actually eat that you're going to put work into.
That's right. There's no use in growing something you won't eat.
Yeah.
And
There goes the crawdad.
was it?
Yeah.
Not only are we growing food for ourselves, we try to grow a portion of the corn and stuff like that that our animals eat as well. But we're down here at the creek garden now. I'm not sure if anybody's seen this since we planted it or not. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you, last year was a great year for the creek garden because we were in a drought all year long. This year has been a different story because we have had an excess amount of rain. I'm not complaining about the rain though, because it's really helped build the creeks back up, and I feel like it's built the water table and all back up, but it's made it a challenge down here across this creek to do anything. And while we've maintained in between the road, yeah, I mean, just look at the water standing here. This whole section right here drowned. But we've maintained in between the rows of each crop. But I had these dead sections in here that I was intended on planting cover crops in. And y'all, that just never happened because it got too wet to get down here and work it. So it was all we could do to keep the weeds out of the main crop.
It's muddy.
And it is muddy.
When you walk out, because we've tried it, when you walk out in this garden when it looks like this, you will have mud caked on the bottom of your shoes like this, and you can't hardly walk because it gets so heavy.
Yep. But we'll go over what we got growing here, and surprisingly, for the amount of rain we've had, it looks really good. This is a row of sweet potatoes. There we have our row of pumpkins. We've got several different varieties of pumpkins, all the way from pie pumpkins to jack-o'-lanterns. Out here we've got another row of sweet potatoes. There we have a row of Crowder peas. And over here is our third crop of sweet corn that's going to be coming in. And it is Serendipity.
Serendipity is just as good as Honey Select.
Definitely.
It is delicious. We really enjoy it. We had a viewer actually comment, it's been, what, 2 years ago?
Several years ago, and recommended it.
Yeah, said if you like Honey Select, you really should try Serendipity, so we did, and it's delicious.
And in my opinion, frozen on the cob, I think the Serendipity kept better than the Honey Select
for whatever reason. And one other thing, and I don't know if they were able to see it when we were coming down the road just now, but we have a ton of wild elderberries that we've left through the years. And right there's a really big one.
Right out there.
And we've just, you know, they grow wild here, and we just choose to leave them.
Yeah, anywhere I ever see one growing, yeah. I start mowing around it.
Yep.
And let it go.
All right, so
I'd bet to say we've probably got at least 10 on the road coming down here.
And they're all loaded this year.
Mm-hmm. So might try to do something with that this time.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. You know, people used to make elderberry jelly.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. You can eat them long as they're cooked, but they're poisonous if you don't cook them, what people say.
We got our sidekick. So the part we're pulling into now is part of our property here, but it doesn't connect to what we own there at the house. We've got 10 acres up here that is separate from what we own up at the house, and we utilize a lot of it for garden and crops and stuff like that too. For instance, as you can see here, we've got a little mini orchard out here. I mean, I just like to plant stuff in random places because you never know. These apple trees may end up doing better than the apple trees at home, and then we've got extra apples. I mean, you know, and if y'all haven't figured it out, I like to grow things. Growing things is my passion, and I just like to watch things grow. And it makes it even better when you've grew something and you actually get a harvest off of it. So that's like a good side effect of growing something.
We don't plant things up here that have to be looked after very regularly because it's just, we've been there and done that, and you end up neglecting it and letting it go, or your tomatoes are half rotten before you get down there to pick them, you know, for example. So, I mean, the things up here are things that can, you know, we ain't got to come up here every day.
Behind us here is the potato patch. Potato vines are pretty much done. I mean, they've still got some green left to them, but they're pretty much done. And so the weeds have taken over. The buckwheat that we sowed in between the rows has really come out and growing. But these are ready to harvest at any point. We've just got to wait for the land to dry up enough to do it. Now, this is one of those crops here where we didn't need to plant this many potatoes. By no means. One row of potatoes would have been more than enough for us to get through the winter and into the spring. We have, I think, 11 rows up here of potatoes, maybe?
Yeah.
And I'm really not sure. I forgot. But I think it's about 11 rows. But my whole plan for that was, if they turn off good, and I have a feeling they're going to, but if they turn off good, we'll have something here to sell. And we actually do sell potatoes to neighbors and elderly people in the community and all that good stuff. But it's just another way to kind of bring a little bit of extra income in and help justify what it costs to raise all this stuff. And it's something that we were already doing, so why not just grow it just a little bit and make a little bit more off of it. Here's the popcorn patch, but this is Japanese hullus. I'm pretty sure we have 11 rows of this too. Some of it didn't fare so well. This end of the the patch out here,
yeah, we're showing you the pretty side.
Once you come out here, right after we planted it, this end of the garden out here is more red clay, and we had an extremely hard rain that packed down the ground, and we did not get very good germination at all on this end. As you can see how much thinner things get out here. So what I done was, in between the rows, I've stuck in sweet potatoes.
And now this looks like a ton of popcorn. I realize that. Let me tell y'all something. Between Andy and them two youngins, we go through a ton of popcorn, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We go through because I'm gonna tell you, it'll spoil you. Like, you're probably thinking like, oh, it ain't gonna make that much difference, like homegrown popcorn. Let me just and it's probably this Japanese hullus too, because it's really good. But it's a difference, ain't it?
It is. So, with her mentioning that.
Oh, and it also makes really good Christmas presents.
It does. We run out last year. Last year, our Japanese hullus popcorn was a very big disappointment. And we didn't make that much.
Yeah, that drought,
the drought hurt it big time. So we had to go buy popcorn, and none of us have liked it. It has not been good.
We bought store-bought, it's the white Japanese hullus, and honestly, I'm not gonna say it's not good.
It's chewy.
It's more chewy than this. This is way more tender, like our homegrown is way it's not chewy at all. So if you got enough room to grow you a little patch of popcorn, to think it's fun to grow, it is really fun to grow.
And you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Especially if you like popcorn like we do. Over here, we've got a patch of field corn. But first and foremost, this is our flower garden. I plant this little strip every year for the pollinators. We've got zinnias and sunflowers, and the white blooming stuff you see out there is buckwheat. I usually mix in all this stuff together, plant it, let the buckwheat come up and do its thing. It'll be the first to bloom. And then comes in the sunflowers and the zinnias. And I think I actually even got some cosmos in here this year. This makes just a beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful sight to see when it's in full bloom. We'll be sure to show y'all that. Like I said, right now, I actually see one little zinnia right yonder blooming. But right now, mainly the buckwheat's blooming. It comes up first and helps shade everything out. Then it'll die back, and up comes everything else. So here is the field corn, the landrace field corn that I've been working on for several years.
And this is a mixture of through the years. It's Jimmy Red, Hickory King, Trucker's Favorite. Is there anything else in it?
Yeah, there's another yellow corn in it that I can't remember the name of right now.
But we keep seeds every year and keep seeds of traits that we want.
Yes.
The only seed,
look at that.
The only seed we saved last year was off the corn that did really good. And y'all, we had a bad drought. Like, we didn't know if it was even gonna make any seed corn. And we didn't have a ton of seed. So I'm gonna tell you, this right here is doing it to it, and I think it has something to do with it.
It probably does.
My personal opinion, anyway.
Just look at the stalk, though. That's the thing that I love about this corn here, is that stalk size.
This is how tall it is, and it's not even shooting tassel yet. So.
Nope. I have a feeling we're going to have a pretty nice crop out of this little patch right here. Way up in the sky.
And look at the roots on this thing going down. Look how many roots it's got. Look at that.
I mean, it just keeps on going. The whole purpose of this corn right here is, like I've mentioned before, I like to grow things. I think it's fun and it's interesting to cross up varieties and stuff like that. And that's truly what this is one big old crossed up pile of corn. And I just wanted to see what it would do. So this right here is for the mainly grown for just my pleasure. But the other part is we'll grind it for cornmeal and grits and all of that, and whatever excess corn we have will be animal feed, and obviously we keep some of the biggest, prettiest ears for seed.
And I will say, it makes killer cornbread.
It does, it really does. So this little strip here is just sowed in a cover crop. That's iron and clay peas right there. And they're doing really good. Now this, on the other hand, is something that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even much want to show y'all. I had a terrible issue with my corn planter. I have figured out what the problem was though. And we had terrible, terrible, terrible germination in this field. But what's here looks good, so I've left it. I'm just gonna let it make what it's gonna make. This is also my landrace mixture. And I'm just gonna let it be what it is and see what it does. But I will say, very disappointed in the germination I had. So we've got one more field to show y'all. You've only seen it once in the past, and that is our field of Boone County white corn. Now that particular corn, we may grind some of it into cornmeal and stuff just to see what it's like, but the main purpose of it, we're growing it to feed the cows and the pigs. So let's go check it out. So what we're coming up on here is our field of Boone County white corn. And yes, what you're seeing right there has a terrible stand, and it's from the same issue we had with the planter. I did come back and replant part of it, and so right now we have corn in amongst it that's only this tall, and it actually came up really good. Maybe we'll find us a decent dry spot we can walk out in and show it to you.
We also had issue with this bottom like flooded.
Yeah.
And washed a lot of the corn away.
Yeah, we had an issue here. So, backstory, this is my mom and daddy's land down here. Years ago, this was all in tobacco field and everything. But daddy let me plant it in corn this year. And I'm really, really, really impressed with the corn that's here, how well it looks. Because we've got minimum amount of fertilizer in this. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about this heirloom corn is it's still hungry like corn normally is. So it still requires nitrogen. But it's not like your modern day field corns where you've just got to pump fertilizer to it. This right here had one application of triple 14 when I planted it. And that's it. And I want y'all to look at how pretty and dark green this corn is. Now,
like you said, I mean, we try, like every year we're trying to grow a little more and a little more to not only, we've kind of got it down pat feeding ourselves. So now
we've ventured into trying to feed our animals too. And now we don't have enough land to do that. So like I said, we're lucky enough to have part of my daddy's farm that he's letting us plant in it. So, you know, that helps us out a ton when it comes to that. This corn was only cultivated one time. Actually, half of this field was cultivated for the second time when I was laying it by, and I got caught in the middle of a thunderstorm, and so the bottom half down there never got that second cultivation, and I really hated that. But now at this point it's too tall to cultivate. But here's what we replanted. This is a good look at it. It's coming on strong, looking pretty good. I don't know if it's got time to make anything between now and frost. It may and it may not, but we had several empty spots through the field, so I just couldn't help but replant part of it. And I had the extra seed. If this corn makes good, I'm going to keep some for seed stock, and we'll probably plant even more of it next year if this right here turns out good. Because there is more fields down here. The big problem is down here is the deer. And so I'm curious to see how well it's going to fare once it starts putting ears on. I am scared that the deer will come in here and annihilate it, especially since we don't have like a full stand of it. However, you know, we live and we learn. And I learned big time about using that planter. As y'all know, that planter was new to me. I'd never used one like it before, and I learned a lot about it this year. For anybody curious, this is about 2 to 2.5 acres of corn here. It's just a really long field. So it kind of looks bigger than it actually is.
You put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of heartache over this corn down here because, like I said, we're in a bottom. And with all the rain that we've had, has made it tough to work this bottom. So every time, and that's the reason most of it's not even been caught on film, because every time I have a chance to come down here between planting it, between cultivating it, and everything else, it's been a race against the weather because I'll have a very, very, very short window of opportunity to work the corn. And I just have to get it done. And like I said, the last time I was down here when I was trying to lay it by, I ended up getting soaking wet because we had a thunderstorm come on us, and at that point it was too wet to finish. And so now, I mean, it's just going to have to be what it's going to be. I can't get back in here and cultivate it. That's what we've got growing.
And so, y'all, I know this may seem overwhelming to a lot of people, and it can be. And I don't want y'all to think, especially if you're just starting out, that your gardening has to be to this extent, because I mean, anything counts as growing your own food, whether it's just one tomato plant. And just realize that this is something that Andy and I, we have built through the years, and every year, you know, we'll add a little more and a little more and a little more. Get good at one thing before you continue to move on to something else. And before we show you the final finished product, I'm always so proud of my mullein plants that I grow out here. It's a medicinal herb, I guess you'd call it. They grow wild here, but this one, I've had them a lot prettier than this one. This one got beat up pretty bad by a hailstorm, and ever since then it kind of went backwards. But yeah, we grow one here in this area. It reseeds itself every year. So
I tell you what, about makes me tired going around looking at all that, thinking about all the work that's went into it.
I know it has been quite a bit, but we enjoy gardening too, if you can't tell. Like, that's something.
It's our hobby.
Yeah.
Not only does it benefit us by giving us good, delicious, nutritious food to eat.
Once you start eating your own fresh food, though, it's hard to go backward.
You know, if we have something that don't make good that year, we just don't have it that year.
Yep.
Like, we're not going to go to the store and buy it. We're not going to go to a farmer's market and buy it. I mean, we could if we wanted to, but we're just not going to.
Yeah. That's just how we are.
So if our sweet corn don't make it, we just won't have sweet corn that year. Or if our potatoes for some reason don't make it,
and
we just don't have potatoes that year.
And once we run out, we're just out. Till next time.
We're out till we have fresh.
Except for we did buy the popcorn.
Yeah, we did buy some popcorn.
I had the youngins that was having the fit. Mama, we gotta have some popcorn.
We were disappointed in that, so
yeah.
Probably won't do that again. Hopefully we'll always have enough that we grow.
Hopefully.
I was so surprised from that one video of how many other people love things that are made from tomatoes but don't eat tomatoes.
I know.
Y'all made me feel like I'm not alone in the world. I'm telling you. So now I don't feel near as bad for not liking tomatoes.
Because, well,
so many people commented and said they were the exact same way, and that tickled me there. That made me feel
because I always
good.
give him a hard time. Like, you got to eat a tomato sandwich.
Yeah, I really like that. But anyways, I'm sure y'all have probably seen enough of us by now. So
yep. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hope you might have learned a little something. Happy gardening. It is prime gardening time.
It's kicking it right now.
At least here anyway. But anyways, guys, till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one. Now what, boss man?
Sleep.